Hello. This is so funny. I am doing a second Facebook Live in one day because I have some new things that I wanted to talk about. If you have not watched the first one that I did today, go watch the first one after this or another time. But I had a couple of client sessions today. I just got off with my second one. And I wanted to come on because so much we're talking about mindset and what one of the girls said I wanted to share here because I think it can be useful. I think it's important to have this discussion because right around mindset. So one of the girls that I just got off a call with, I've only been working with her for a couple of weeks, and she's been making incredible shifts in her life with her mindset. She's one of the girls I've been texting her every day, asking about her like celebrations and the things that she can praise herself with. And she's been like sending me like detailed texts telling me what's been going on. And it's been really incredible to see her, how much she's been progressing in just a short amount of time. And so she said a couple of things on our call today, and I like quickly wrote it down because I'm like, oh my God, I have to share this here in the group. So one of the things that she said at the beginning of our call, she said, the simple change in my mindset has been insane. She says, making the choice to change is the hardest part. And she said but she's been doing it. So, and I think it's really interesting because if you want your daughter to change her life, it's not going to be about you trying to get her to change. At the end of the day, she's got to want it for herself. So just like my client said, making the choice to change is the hardest part. But if you can get there, if your daughter can get there, it's like game on, right? Everything changes the moment she starts saying like, I deserve this. I'm ready to show up for myself. I can do this, right? Something else that my client shared with me is that she's been having this mantra that she's been telling herself. And she said the mantra is, I'm choosing differently in my mind. That's like her new mantra. So anytime that she goes to like her old ways of showing up, she's saying, no, I'm choosing differently in my mind, and it shifts. Like everything shifts for her. This is a girl that, when I first started working with her, and mind you, we've been working together a couple of weeks, not even that long, major anxiety, like stress, anxiety, worrying, like you name it. Like it was bad for her. And she's made incredible progress in a short amount of time. Something else, so the client that I saw before her said something that I wanted to share here, and I wrote it for the topic of this Facebook Live, and it says, your daughter is not her mind. And if you're like reading that and you're like, oh, what does Brianna mean by that? I want to tell you. So I got this came actually from one of my clients today, because we were talking about she's in high school. She is tomorrow she has a driving test, and she's freaking out, or at least she was at the beginning of our call. She was freaking out, very anxious. She said like her whole body felt tense, very stressed out, very overwhelmed. And, I was like asking, well, why are you feeling this way? And, she shared with me something that had happened during a previous driving test, and she did something wrong, and it just like freaked her out. And so this is how we get messed up in our lives, when we are like reliving some past event. We don't even realize that we're doing it, but she's been like going back to that moment when she freaked out before because she made this mistake, and now, and it just spirals out of control. And so, when I asked her how she's feeling, and she's like tense, overwhelmed, anxious, stressed, well, no wonder she's feeling this way, right? Because she's living in the past from some past event that happened, and she hasn't been able to just like let that go. So she said something that was like brilliant. And this is the whole reason I wanted to get on this Facebook Live, because I didn't want to do a post on this. I just wanted to talk about this. So I was asking her, so like, what are some of the things that are coming up for you, you know, with this driver's test tomorrow? And there were a lot of like negative thoughts about what could happen. Like, I mean, the fact that she might accidentally kill someone if she's, you know, like driving, and like, God forbid she makes a mistake, right? I mean, that's like that's intense, right? Can you imagine walking around in your life thinking that like, oh my God, if I mess up on this driver's test, like, what if I kill someone? Oh my God, like, of course her body's freaking out. Of course she's feeling tense. Of course she's feeling like all of this anxiety, right? And overwhelm. How could you not if you're feeling that way? So what we talked about is that, you know, her thoughts, I said like to her, like, your thoughts can be almost like on a conveyor belt, right? Your thoughts, you can almost like observe your thoughts. You can almost look at them. And there's going to be some good thoughts that make you feel good and some bad thoughts that don't make you feel good. And you get to choose which thought you're going to hold on to and which thought you're going to let go of. So all of the thoughts that like don't make her feel good, she doesn't have to take them off of that little conveyor belt and hold on to them. She can let those go. And the thoughts that make her feel good about herself, she can hang on to those, because those are the thoughts that she wants to really keep inside of her mind. And so we were talking about this, and she said something that was so interesting. And she said, but I don't know how to do this. She said, but I am my mind. I'm not separate from my mind. I am my mind. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So, and this is what I want to talk about here with all of you moms. Your daughter is not her mind. She thinks she is. Your daughter probably thinks that she, like, her thoughts, like, that's who she is. But there are so many, like Eckhart Tolle talks about this. Michael Singer from the Untethered, what is it called? The Untethered Soul. Amazing book, by the way, if you haven't read that. So many spiritual people, so many people out there talk about this one thing, that when you can detach yourself from your thoughts and you can observe your thoughts, like almost like you're kind of like you're watching your thoughts like go by. You're like, oh, that's interesting. I see that thought. Interesting thought. Okay, I see it. I see you over there. But you don't have to attach yourself to these thoughts. Hey, Anita. You don't have to attach yourself to these thoughts, because these thoughts are not who you are. And this is not something that we grow up learning, that we are not our thoughts. We kind of think that we are. I know before I did this work, like I thought I was my own, like I thought my thoughts, like that's who I am. But it's actually not. Because we have thoughts that are coming from the ego, we have thoughts coming from our higher self, we have all of this limiting stuff that's coming from the subconscious mind, right? All of those limiting beliefs that don't help us, that don't help us be our best selves. And so, but we are not all of these thoughts. And so what I told my client is, actually, you are not your mind. I want you to be more like of the observer and start watching what's going on in your mind, watching those thoughts, detaching yourself from it. Meditation is one of the best ways to do this, by the way. So if your daughters aren't meditating, they should be, because it's a great thing for them. But it's really interesting. So I just wanted to like share that with all of you moms, that you know, whatever is going on in your daughter's life, in her world, any of the upsets, any of the challenges, and whatever is in here, this is not who she is. And she will start taking more responsibility in her life to really make the changes that she wants to make when she starts like taking a step back and like observing herself, observing these thoughts, And like I said before, meditation is such a great way to help with that. And there's one other thing. If you are watching live and you have a question on any of this, please feel free to leave a comment. I also wanted to touch on one thing that somebody wrote on my last Facebook Live just a few hours ago. And instead of just responding to her message here, I just wanted to respond to it in doing another Facebook Live. So Jody, if you're watching this, this is for you, but I also want this to be for all of you moms, because I think that this can help a lot of you moms. So this is what she wrote. Jody, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but you wrote it in the other Facebook Live, so I assume it's fine. Okay, you wrote, my daughter struggles with going to school every day, hates it, and can't find motivation. She's at 50% attendance. How does she find something positive in the morning to motivate her? Okay, so I know some of you moms like heard that and you're like, oh my God, yes, like I can relate. My daughter doesn't have motivation. She's, you know, her attendance isn't good, this or that. Like you can probably, some of you can probably relate to this. So here's the thing. So her daughter is struggling in school every day and can't find motivation. So here's the deal. It's all about what her daughter is focusing on, going back to her thoughts. So motivation all starts from within here. So if Jody, if your daughter is waking up in the morning and she's like, I don't want to go to school, I hate school, I hate my life sucks, there's nothing to look forward to, then she's going to have this much motivation. She's not going to want to get out of bed. She's going to have poor attendance in school. She's not going to be motivated in her life. So she's got to shift that by thinking new thoughts to herself. So she can wake up first thing in the morning. What is one positive thing that's going to happen at school? Maybe it's that one friend. Maybe it's that like one close friend that she has at school that she adores and she's really close with. Maybe that's what she can focus on in the morning when she wakes up in the morning. Maybe it's getting up a little bit earlier, playing a little playlist of like some fun, feel-good music and dancing around her room for a few minutes to get her to like really feel energized and like loving her life. There's so many different things that your daughter can be doing to really help her get into more of a positive mindset and also motivated. So if, but it comes back to her thoughts. So if your daughter isn't where she is in her life, it comes down to one thing. What's going on in here? Same thing I said before. I'm going to say this to like all the time because it's the truth. This is what's happening. So if, and for any of you moms that are, your daughter is struggling with this as well, it's really about, she's got to shift her focus. She's got to shift her focus. If your daughter is feeling depressed or sad or anxious or whatever, then she's got to shift it to some elevated state, emotional state. Gratitude, what is she thankful for? Jody, this would be great for your daughter to do as well. She can start practicing gratitude the first thing she wakes up in the morning. She might not want to do this, but if she wants to change her life, she could do this. She can drop into gratitude. Close her eyes and say, you know what? I'm thankful for this bed that I have. I'm thankful that I have a roof over my head. I am thankful that I have food on the table. I am thankful that I have a wardrobe full of clothes. I am thankful that I have a mom and dad that love me. I am thankful for my life. Like seriously, you can just bang this out. Gratitude is the quickest way to get yourself out of any sort of victim state, any sort of feeling sad or depressed or anxious or whatever. But your daughter has to learn that she's got to shift that focus away from how she's feeling to how she wants to feel. Again, so many of your daughters are living in the past from some past event, whatever happened to them in the past, and that is leaving them feeling a victim to the circumstances in their life. And the thing that changes everything is when they take ownership. Here's what happens with the victims. They blame where they are in their lives. They either blame other people or they blame that thing that happened that changed them that they can't move past. So if you're watching this, is your daughter blaming something that's happened in her life as the reason that she can't move past it or beyond it? Mary, oh, cool. I'll answer your question in just a second. So she can do the blame game and blame other people or blame other things that have happened in her life. But guess what? There's no empowerment there. So for her to take ownership of her life, she's got to say, what can I do about this? That is a very empowering question. What can I do about this? How can I start feeling better right this second? And how she can is just by asking that question. That is the first step. I don't know what that was. Something fell. Anyways, so it's really about changing. Your daughter needs to change her emotional state. Gratitude is a great thing to do. Really moving into how she wants to feel, not where she's feeling right now. We get it. Your daughter may be feeling anxious. We get it. Your daughter may be feeling depressed. We get that's how she's feeling right now. But how does she want to feel? When your daughter can learn how to drop into how she wants to feel, then that changes everything. So Mary, can you recommend any books? Yes, I can recommend like 1,000 books. I have so many books that I love. I'm like obsessed with my spiritual books. Let me think. So, I mean, one book that I absolutely love is Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. That's incredible. It's also a really beautiful book. It has pictures. And I mean, she talks so much about how she, Louise Hay, who died I think she died like a few years ago. She lived until like she was 92. She's like the guru of self-love and changing yourself, healing yourself through your thoughts, through your feelings and emotions. And she healed herself of cancer when she was like in her 50s or 60s. So that's a beautiful book. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. I also love Don Miguel Ruiz, who is the author of The 4 Agreements. If you can message me if you think of any others. Yeah, Mary, I will. And I'll leave some titles of some books underneath in the comment section. But like Don Miguel Ruiz, the author of The 4 Agreements, he's amazing. Wayne Dyer is incredible too. He passed away just a few years ago, but he has been a big inspiration and motivation for me in my own life. His work, The Power of Intention, is incredible. He wrote another book. Well, he's written tons of books. There was another one, it was something about manifesting, but it was so beautiful. I'll remember the title. Oh, Wishes Fulfilled. That's it. His book is called Wishes Fulfilled, and it's all about like manifesting, creating the life that you want to live. And he wrote in such a beautiful way. It's very easy to follow, very easy to absorb the information. So there's tons of books out there, but it's really about like your daughter being willing to do the work, put in the effort. That's really everything. So I think that's all that I wanted to share. But I'm just sending you all so much love. If you didn't catch my first Facebook Live from earlier today, go watch that. Have an amazing day, everyone, and leave a comment below if you want to share anything or ask any question that you want. Mwah! Talk to you guys later. Bye.